to today's live.
Hi, Priyanka. Thank you for this opportunity. It indeed is a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. And Anusha, I am super excited. The space that you are in is every at least a product or even a service entrepreneur's dream is to connect with corporates. And you seem to be somebody who has built yourself in this domain and you're doing wonderful. So why don't you first go ahead and share with our audience today what do you do and how did your journey begin in this space?
Okay, thank you for that, Priyanka. Though, thanks for this, thanks for the encouragement, but it's still a long way to go. I'll just say that.
Okay,
And
great.
yeah, we've just started our journey, and touch wood, God's been kind. So
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about my entrepreneurial journey, I've been a banker by
Mm-hmm.
profession. Both in educate into banking, worked with a couple of banks, HDFC, Barclays, and all. And thereafter, I took a back step
Mm-hmm.
because of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when I took a back step because of the kids, it was for a term for almost 7 years,
Okay.
wherein the priority was basically kids. But at the same time, I'd always been a learner.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole idea in those 7 years was to go for something which was not only adding value to me, but something I would keep on learning.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the time when Amazon was getting bigger,
Mm-hmm.
Snapdeal was really big, there were new online things which were coming up, and it really interested me because I felt I could do something sitting at home,
Yeah.
taking care of the kids and all. And that's where my online journey started. For the
Okay.
next 7 years, I was basically, consulting a lot of SMEs,
Mm-hmm.
NGOs, homepreneurs, helping them take the business online and
Okay.
creating it as a revenue mode.
Okay.
So that turned out to be really a good learning
Mm-hmm.
experience, and that became a formative year for me because it made me work into different sectors, different departments,
Yeah.
different opportunities I got to learn. So I worked in kapda market, lakri market, steel market, wood market. You
Mm-hmm.
talk about the thing jewelry market, and so I got to understand how the manufacturing happens, how the products are
Mm-hmm.
bought, sold, all those dynamics.
Yeah.
And once my kids were a bit, all there, so I thought of launching this platform. And yes, so when we launched, Corona struck. I
Mm-hmm.
had a slightly off the cuff, this thing with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So my 1 year, the first year just went bad, and I restarted from ground zero in 2021. uh, gave myself 6 months, thought ki ya to, but I there was no choice to go back. It was my passion, and I was sure something will work out. The
Okay.
only thing that changed was initially the ideas were basically D2C.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to do something in D2C. That's still one of my passions, and will definitely come back with that. But given the kind of losses that we had in the first
Mm-hmm.
year when we were trying and Corona was there and everything, so we thought let's try B2B. So
Mm-hmm.
it was more of an accidental entrepreneur thing rather
Okay.
than a typical, a
Mm-hmm.
well-planned thing. And once we entered the B2B space, we realized that what we've been thinking about D2C is something to the need of the hour in B2B
Mm-hmm.
because nobody is really taking too much of an initiative to conceptualize and create something which is so, so unique that it
Mm-hmm.
impacts and it acknowledges the purpose with which the corporate is doing the gifting. So
Okay.
it's something which is very, very important.
So
And
why
yes,
don't you
our journey.
elaborate further with wrapping happiness? What exactly are you doing today? And
Okay.
how does that differentiate you from others in the market?
Yeah, a brilliant question, I think. So, Wrapping Happiness is a platform which is not a typical corporate gifting. We are an engagement platform.
Okay.
So we work very closely with the corporates. We
Mhm.
understand the ethos of the organization. We understand the purpose of gifting. We use gifting as an engagement tool.
Okay.
Now, the engagement could be used as a tool for retention, motivation, so across the life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And we are also a design house wherein we conceptualize as per the ethos of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of, curate stuff which is so, so personalized and customized that it ends up being very, very, to the mark. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So, I think one key takeaway up till now in the conversation, guys, is that what differentiates Anusha's journey is while we are all learning, even on the in the period when she had taken a personal choice not to to focus on family. She was continuously learning, and that really rings a bell with me, Anusha. I think continuous learning is the only way to success, and I'm so glad to hear you say that out loud. My next question to you, Anusha, is it's great that you shifted your focus D2C to B2B, and it's amazing that you're able to curate these experiences to create a difference in the life cycle of the engagement of the employees while you're working with corporates. So,
Yes.
are there any, see, this is something I hear time and again from every entrepreneur, right? Everybody wants to work with corporates, and it's understandable, right? Um, are there any tips that you would share? It could be for product businesses or service businesses as to what is the secret ingredient, right? To right from pitching to a corporate to actually being able to differentiate yourself and to bagging that order, right? What does this journey look like, and what are they actually looking for? Because this seems to be like a missing piece of the puzzle.
Um, what do I say over there?
Uh,
See, there's no tip per se. I think you just need to be very genuine with your work. You
okay.
don't need to overcommit. You need to be very, very true, honest, very
Mm-hmm.
professional, very committed.
Mm-hmm.
So it runs in the DNA of the company, if I would say, wherein not only me, my whole team for that matter, is equally participative.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us, we work hard towards our committed words. So if we
Mm-hmm.
have committed it's a Wednesday, our products and everything would be ready by Tuesday. We don't compromise at all on the quality. So that's something which is again a USP.
Mm-hmm.
There have been times wherein we would have said no once or twice to certain orders, wherein, we realized that we'll have to compromise on the quality, and we don't do that.
Okay.
End of the day, it's our brand also,
Yeah.
because our real sale begins at the time when the person um, takes the gift. It's
Yeah.
not at the time when we are giving it to the HR or selling it.
Yeah.
It has to be used. It has to be used and given a good feedback to the HR. And one of
Appreciated by
the
the receiver is what you're
yes,
looking
yes,
for.
yes.
Okay.
So, one of the reasons why our stickability is high,
Mm,
wherein we have collaborated with so many corporates, and I would say they trust us and we value their association, is because we want to ensure that our existing relationship remains
mm,
strong. We can
okay.
definitely fetch new corporates,
Mm,
but you need to take care of your existing relationship. End
mm.
of the day, you've been partner with them, so you need to commit and honor that commitment. And that's it. I think that's the only thing. Just being more
Genuine.
professional, more genuine,
Yeah.
and more true to your words.
Yeah, so don't overcommit and underdeliver is what I
Yes,
would say, and be genuine to
absolutely.
your craft, whatever it may be. It may be a product or a service. And
Certainly.
when you are pitching to the corporates, focus on the end customer. That is very, very important, right? You may be
Yes,
talking to somebody in between, but you always need to have your eyes on the prize, that who is the end customer who's going to be using your product and service, and how do they rate? What is the kind of feedback they give? Because
correct.
that is what will bring the stickiness, right?
Exactly, because if you're end of the day, you're being genuine and you're being professional
Mhm,
and you are committing to the words that you're trying to
mm,
say, then I'm sure everybody values that genuinity,
mm,
and they're sure that the products that you are suggesting or you're creating or
mm.
designing for them is telling the ethos of the organization. So
Yeah,
gifting is not just picking up something, putting in a logo and giving.
yeah.
Gifting is way beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand how the employee can be really motivated and encouraged. And that's precisely the reason that, we say, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
are there and we're
Mm.
watching. So a
Okay,
simple motivation gift on a monthly basis can also make a lot of difference if done the right way.
wonderful. So, how many corporates are currently empaneled with you, or you are empaneled with how many corporates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's put it the other way around. So it's been 3.5 years of a journey.
Mm-hmm.
We've been almost, I'll say, 118 corporates on board right
Wow.
now.
Wow.
And we are supplying to around seven nationalities. So we are supplying to Japan, South Korea, Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
Singapore, Philippines, India,
Mm-hmm.
and UK. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So not only in India, you have spread your wings globally. So that's amazing. So there's
And
a question.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
please go
just
ahead.
think it's complete referral. So it's
Okay.
usually HR would have referred us from one corporate to the other corporate, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that we've not really invested as such in marketing. We've not even done Google Ads. So it's
Oh,
completely and completely a
organic
word of
growth.
mouth,
Yeah.
complete organic growth, and completely bootstrapped
Mm-hmm.
and completely what do you say? It's a word of mouth.
Okay.
It's their trust in us, and I think that makes a lot of difference.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. We have a question in the chat, and I would really want to take that up. It's from Harpreet, Seasons of Cakes. She's a HIN member, and she asks, I'm also exploring association with corporates. And what I understand, there are certain criterias to be on their vendors list. Can you share some light on it?
Hi, Harpreet. Wonderful question. That's something, yes, is definitely there. So, when it comes to the criterias on the vendor list and everything, every corporate's got a different system.
Mm,
And when you're talking about those criterias, yes, those criteria, meeting up those criterias is something which is really, really important. So
mm,
you need to make sure your compliances are on time, your certifications are there, and everything. And yes, any B2B cracking takes time. The gestation time is relatively slightly longer
mm.
than the regular conversion.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, it's definitely there. I do agree.
Yeah.
So
So,
you always end up having a pipeline of corporates with whom you're following.
okay.
But I mean, it's something, it might take time. So just keep on going, just keep on giving your best, keep on updating them what you're offering,
Mm-hmm.
and do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I hope that answers your question, Harpreet. So moving on, Anusha, it's really exciting, but it's a very, very competitive space, right? Corporate gifting. I mean, there are just so many players in this space. So, what would you say your strengths are? Like you already did mention that you focus on the design and what the exact requirement are. But well, let's talk about it from a team perspective, right? So you did also bring in your team, and I'm curious to understand what is it that you are doing right, which is working in your favor? What is the kind of communication that goes out to your team? How big is your team, and how are you managing the whole show?
Okay. So I have a wonderful set of people
Mhm.
whom I call Team Happiness.
Okay.
So we are Team Happiness, and everybody brings in a set of skill which is really
Mhm.
needed.
Okay.
One of the reasons and one of the things that my product design alliances team they keep on working on is continuous upskilling, continuous curation of things, new designs, new ideas. We don't sit back only on a single thing and decide, "Okay, okay, fine, we are done."
Mhm.
We don't read anything. We are ourselves not satisfied with what we're doing. So
Okay.
we are always trying to figure out what next.
Mhm.
What next? Today, you talk about a brand, we'll be majorly working with them. Any
Okay.
brand, any sector,
Mhm.
we'll be working with them. Non-branded, designer, artisans,
Mhm.
everything. So one of the things that really differentiates us is our upskilling and the alliances that we have. We've made it
Okay.
very, very strong.
Okay.
Second is, in case we've not tied up with something and the corporate wants it, we take it as a challenge and we ensure that we are there. So
Okay.
there's always new ideas that are popping up, new ideas that we are working on, and that's something which becomes a very, very integral part of our system.
Okay.
Second is we ensure the packaging goes out as a wow impact.
Okay.
See, end of the day, there's a purpose why the
Mhm.
gift is being sent.
Yeah.
So we ensure that the product reaches the end user just the right way,
Mhm.
in the right slide, in the right way
Mhm.
of presentation and everything.
Okay.
And definitely, when you call about the quality, the professionalism, I
Mhm.
think everybody in the team is up to it.
Okay.
So, yes, that's something, as I said earlier, also it runs in the DNA of the company that we've been doing all that.
So I think my learning from this today is, and I want to speak it out for all the entrepreneurs who are going to be watching this, even now and later, guys. See, Anusha has raised some very, very important points, right? How much ever good your product might be, packaging is equally important. It needs to tell the story. It needs to be right there, right? You cannot compromise on that. And secondly, of course, your team building, that is your biggest strength and asset. So the entire team needs to speak the same language, and it always flows down from the founder to the to the team members. So it's very, very important you are consistent with your brand language, you're consistent with your vision, and you share that with your team. On that note, Anusha, what really worked for you in 2024, because the year has just gone by? What are some of the new things that you did that worked in your favor, and would you like to share some things with us as to how it worked in your favor?
So a lot of things. So 2024 was a year of initiatives for us. So we wanted to have a physical presence of our stores also somewhere.
Mhm,
That was the first thing that we did. So we tried up with Spring House, and Mukul, the founder, was very, forthcoming and
mhm,
very supportive. And we collaborated together to bring a physical kiosk at the centers of Spring House,
mhm.
and that really got us a good business. So that became a source of revenue for us.
Awesome.
Then we have recently tied up with certain floral and cake brands, and very shortly in the month of January, we'll be launching our flower and cake delivery pan India and even to
Mhm.
certain global locations.
Oh, wow.
That will be basically for the employees' birthdays
Mhm,
and anniversaries, work anniversaries, foundation
mhm.
days, whatever they want,
Okay.
because we realize that's something which is really important. It
Mhm,
really adds on to the emotion. So these are two major things. Plus, we participated in certain conferences wherein yes, wrapping happiness for the first time came out in the open, and we tried to explore the market in a more bigger
mhm.
platform,
Okay.
which gave us a good visibility.
Mhm,
And yes, since I said the gestation is long,
mhm.
I'm still waiting for the conversion, but yes, things are rolling out well. So
And
2024 was touch wood a good year for us.
wonderful. And I'm so happy to hear that. And I like the thought process behind collaborating with co-working spaces, because I think a lot of corporates are using these, especially in smaller cities also. So it's a good idea. And I'm so happy to hear that you are currently in talks. I wish all the best to you on that front. So what's your vision with Wrapping Happiness? What can we look forward to in 2025? And what can we be hooting for?
Lots of new ideas, lots of
Hmm.
new, lots of new things coming up the sleeve.
Mhm,
Like we're already working on our digital aspect, so
mhm.
we'll be very soon launching one of the platforms, one of the tech platforms for the
Okay.
HR to make life more convenient. Yes, we are on the final stages of conversion for that.
Okay.
And we are also looking to cross 150 corporates mark very shortly in the
Wow.
first 6 months. Yes.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
yes. So that's a steep target, but yes, we are happy to take it. And
Great.
yes, um, just growing, 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 and growing with the people, growing with the thoughts, growing with the number of corporates,
Hmm.
everything. Yes.
That's so wonderful to hear, Anusha. And my most favorite part, how did your journey on Hen begin? And how did you find Hen? And how has it been so far?
Awesome. I think, I was looking for one of the networking platforms wherein I can be a part of it and wherein I could really benefit
Hmm.
and I can also contribute.
Yeah.
Hen
Yeah.
turned out to be wonderful for us.